Hello. What's going on, everybody? Back with another watch list. Today, the plan is to go over a bunch of trades here from today, get prepped for tomorrow, and answer any questions that you guys may have, any tickers you want to talk about, or anything like that. Good day on my end. Probably best day of the week here so far. Most of it came from swings from those overnight positions I had mentioned yesterday. A couple day trades, but all in all, nice day. So we'll start off here. Let's start with Wolf. Might as well. First one on my list here. Multi-day runner. Had that couple days, 1.5 days of red. Gap down, started going green this morning, bought the opening range highs, missed it right through here, bought the pullback to it. Once it failed green, I just moved on quickly. I was sized here for a low a day risk, so off of a 205 risking 180, I lost about 7 cents instead of 25 cents, so you can imagine was a fairly small loss, but it did exactly what I was hoping for today, where it fades down to those mid to low ones, right into these prior looking left levels, and extends from these low to mid twos, which is the bounce range potential that I would like to see. So far, coming back into moving averages down here. So I think it could support tomorrow. Would give it another shot if it starts to build off the open, but we will see. Again, it's just like a 30-minute to 1 hour trade. It's nothing I'm looking to marry, given the headline risk that they could put out that bankruptcy news at any point. Workhorse was fairly sized into this one on this $3 failed fall through there in the afternoon. You can see the executions on the watch list yesterday, and we were gapping up slightly. But I was, although I was fairly large size, I was comfortable taking a above average loss if it reclaimed those 330s. But let it do its thing. Got instant resolution here right off the open. Pull back right into those 250s, looking left levels here right into this line. Started getting some lower highs, failing versus VWAP, so I tried it a couple times looking for that 250 breakdown, and it just wasn't coming. So I stopped fighting that thing. Gave a few shekels back, but all in all, really nice trade. Tizzy, off of that 26 breakdown, retest and fail. Again, straight down right off the open, covering for about $2.50 a share. It is still going lower, but I decided to lock it in right here towards that breakout level. Really nice trade. This one here was the main gainer of the day. Just really nice range and could get some tight risk reward on that one. Game, I posted this one here on Twitter. Let me grab the link here and I will throw it in the chat. Just made a few annotations and stuff on the chart. There we go. Jeff, what's going on? Good to see ya. But this one here, multi-day runner, up from about 80 cents, the breakout at $1. Ran to $3. We're getting that first red day here. And plan, I hopped on the broadcast in IU again this morning. Had plenty on watch and lots to share. We got this treasury news here right around 8 a.m. It popped and immediately straight back down. So I reacted to the PR, and then it immediately failed. So I added. And then it retraced the entire PR move, so I added one more time. At this point, this entry was risking versus prior day's highs. This ad was then risking versus 250. This ad was then risking versus high a day, and got that straight down pullback. Reason for these covers was due to the daily chart. We had this gap fill right into the day one highs, and also this little green line here is the 4 EMA. And that was lining up right with that day's highs, so I covered it all right there. And that's exactly why I have those indicators on the chart, because it played out perfectly on this one. So this was a really nice day trade there. Proc I had overnight, ended up losing a few on this one. We had that gap up, close below the open. I was short here in like the mid to high fours. You saw the entry there on the watch list. Was a bit uncomfortable here in pre-market, but was going to cut it through 550s like prior day's VWAP. Wasn't going to cut it in pre-market. I want to wait till the open and see what it does. And right off the open, we got a pullback. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe this goes red. And then we start getting these wicks and wicks and wicks. And right on this swipe candle, I'm like, okay, we've got a pullback. I've minimized that loser, so let's take half off. So I covered. And then once we set this higher low and new high, I just swiped and covered the rest. So did good damage control, cutting that loss, managing the loser, and didn't give too much back there. So we had Game, Proc, SRFM. I traded that one briefly. Pre-market pop. Tried to hit the para, but I missed. We got that little speed up and then hard crack, but I missed my fill. Spreads were a bit wide. But it was the same kind of thing. We had gap up, close below the open yesterday. You can see the red candle, so I'm thinking a gap into prior day's levels should be met with some selling pressure. Right off the open, we get a pullback. Starts to fail to follow through under 670s, but I was focused elsewhere, so I didn't take that one. It ended up not going a whole lot lower and right back near highs, so didn't really miss a whole lot there. Tizzy, Workhorse, and Wolves. Those are all the trades there from today. Nice trade on Game. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So yeah, now as far as watches going into tomorrow, we've got like SRFM and Proc are holding up a lot better than I would expect. I don't really have a short setup at this point to trade on them. Because usually those pullback, like first red days, are like the snap back, like that elastic move when sellers overwhelm. And you can see like on VOR, for example, you get that snapback move, and then even on this prior support break of 240s, it only gets like 15 cents a pull. So like Proc is lining up here, right, with these $4 line that I think could pull back some, but I also, like, it's holding up a bit too well. Same kind of thing with SRFM, especially with the breakout level here right below. I was looking for it to pull back into that breakout level today, and it just held. So I think I'm just going to avoid those couple, even though they're holding up. They're at the same price, but they're at a different time in the daily chart setup. Workhorse, I'd lean on this one if it lost 250. So I'll continue to keep this one on watch. But if that loses 250, we've got a huge pocket of small, low liquidity that I think it could fill. Hood still holding up really well. Broke that little wedge there today. It would have stopped me out anyways, because it broke the wedge right here. So we had this pull this week open. So I would have been buying somewhere in here, would have got stopped out under lows, and then it comes all the way back. So I would have gotten stopped on it anyways, but CoreWeave, I saw this one today. This one really pisses me off, man. I was short all in here in the 160s. I added through this. I was short all in here. I added through here in like 158-ish. And then when it started to come back on this day, it was just a steady bid. What day was that? The 3rd this day? And it just looked buyer, 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 buyer. Like it's steady highs all day. This little push and fail I thought should have rolled over. And then it didn't. So I took it off. I took a loss on it. It came all the way back above my average. Right over here. And then put in a few more days and it never saw higher. Was dead on with the thesis. Just my timing was off. Really pisses me off because that would have been a huge trade now, up like $30 in the money. You don't have to have a ton of shares to make that thing work. Look at that daily. Like it loses the moving averages and see you later. Probably pulls back here to like the 50-day into like 120. Really nice move. But I'm not in it. It is what it is. SUGP, no real plans. Percent gainer holding up. ABVE, biggest runner of the day here, up 800%. So I will avoid that one. This one will be gapping down huge, so I will avoid that one. SQNS was a breakout here through the 260s. Lined up nice with pre-market highs, but was straight up through that breakout level, so really hard to buy in my opinion. SONN. I threw this one on for this little breakout here through 6, but we've got this overhead, so I don't think I'm going to take it. This kind of chart looks really nice, but zooming out further on the daily, this does not look so nice. Workhorse would have a lot of work to do for me to break 250s tomorrow. So not sure it really happens. If it does, I'll play it. Wolf, ideally get a gap down, weak open, red to green. I'd play that one for a reversal. It's probably my main watch going into tomorrow. Still got 80 million shares traded today, so plenty liquid enough. BMNR, I don't know how significant that S3 ASR is going to be on a bounce attempt. So yes, it's pulling back into prior resistance, and it's got a lot of range back up, but I don't really understand news like that, so I think I'm just going to proceed with caution and not try to bounce it. Wolf, possible bounce. Workhorse, possible multi-day breakdown. Proc, SRFM, recent multi-day runners holding up. Son could throw it in that basket. Not really gung-ho about him. I think I'd be more frustrated about taking a loss than I would be frustrated about missing the trade. ABVE, it will be gapping up a ton tomorrow. Prior close is right here, like 150. So it's up over 100% already. 50 cent, 130% right now from the prior close. 150 to 350. So technically it fits that overextended gap up, but like the most recent example of that is Proc, where it was gapping up rather handsomely. Did not have the biggest squeeze out in after hours like Above is having, but it squeezed out blew out in the morning before unwinding, so it probably takes a bit more patience. Yeah, if it's up 150%, I think I might look for borrows. I don't know what the cost on them was today, but I mean, it's up 150%. That's clearly overextended gap up territory. Has a good history of pullbacks. Huge volume there at 350. Don't know why. Do you think ABVE will spike more at 4 a.m. pre-market open? I think that's more of a guessing game in my opinion. It could, or it couldn't. I think that's like a 50-50 guess. I don't think you need to know that answer in order to make money. I won't be up for it for the 4 a.m. open, but I will be looking for it at market open to be up at least 70% from the prior day's close, and then look at that as a possible overextended gap up trade and wait for some sort of failed fall through like Proc over here. Maybe the 1 minute might be a bit cleaner. Come on. There we go. So something like with Proc, like it looks weak off the open. Maybe you do short this, maybe you short the bounce, and then you end up having to cut it. But then from there on, this is the low. So you got low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, hard crack, lower high, lower low. So anywhere between 670 to 640 versus a high day risk. I like that trade because that's the first trend shift. So I'd be looking for something like that on ABVE ideally, where it gaps up maybe 380, 420, and then you get like a push or a double top, and then like a clear hard crack, lower high, filled fall through type setup. And I'd probably like, usually my my risk parameters is 3 trades, and if I'm wrong 3 times, then I stop trading it. Something like this, I'd probably want to take 2 attempts just because it's not really an A+ setup. More of those multi-day runners like Workhorse and whatnot. Stinky Bananas, that's a funny name. Are you profiable? Yes, I make money in the stock market. Got to be a good red day coming for Proc. You think so? I don't know. Like if you look at most of the volume was traded on day 1, 340 million. Volume drops off each day and price keeps holding higher. So like, yes, it's up from sub 1, but it's also holding a hell of a lot better than I would have expected. Like this VWAP here at 220-ish, this VWAP here at 540-ish, this VWAP here at 520-ish. So like there's no longs underwater. It's above like every VWAP. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a good red day coming at this point. I think it should have happened today. Like for me, statistically speaking, when you get that gap up, close below the open, this should gap down and follow through today. And because it didn't, it makes me feel a bit iffy with it. And they do have a presentation. I think it's with H.C. Wainwright, I think it was, on Monday. So they could be trying to hold the stock up into that presentation. Could also be a possibility. Yeah, holding like a mother. Amen. Yeah, if this were to fail tomorrow, I'd miss it, and I wouldn't be too disappointed in missing it. But yeah, so main watches for me tomorrow probably Wolf and Workhorse, and then ABVE is probably the third one there. But as you could probably tell in my tone, like yesterday and the day before, going into the day, I was like, these are my mains. I've got 5 to 10 names on watch. If this one doesn't set up, I've got this one. Like, I was like coming in prepared, guns a-blazing, like tons of watches, tons of A+. And tomorrow is like B grade. I'm not super gung-ho. Kind of a lighter day, it looks like. And it's Friday. So not trying to ruin a good week in one day by forcing a ton of stuff. So that's kind of my plan for tomorrow. I think I will leave it there, guys. Not trying to beat a dead horse here. But yeah, those are my thoughts going into tomorrow. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Birthday weekend for me on Saturday. So I will probably go out golfing or something. And yeah, so take it easy, guys. Have a great rest of your week, trading day. Have a good weekend, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.